toughest athletes that I've seen mentally was Gary Kirsten. Virat is probably the best example in India of
Who you thought was the mentally toughest one?
such an interesting question. Firstly, to answer this question, you must know I grew up in South Africa and I grew up in an era where the cricketers were all tough. Alan Donald, Jonty Rhodes, Gary Kirsten, Andrew Hudson, Sean Pollock. This was the era that I grew up in. All of them were phenomenally tough. I think one of the toughest athletes that I've seen mentally was Gary Kirsten. Gary Kirsten, who we know took India to the 2011 World Cup final and won it. If you ask anyone, including himself, he'll tell you he was not the most talented, but he was without a doubt the hardest worker. And sometimes he came out of a batting session battered and bruised, but he just was relentless in making sure that he was not going to give his wicket away. And why is this so remarkable? Because he played in an era where there was absolutely no focus on the psychology. We only focused on the physical training and we focused on technique. And there was absolutely nothing that was pointing towards developing psychology. So that grit, that toughness came in from the cultural ecosystem, came in from the schooling, came in from in there. And we're seeing this really and truly evolve. Virat is probably the best example in India of someone who has the mental resilience and toughness to just keep everything aside. And for the audience listening, what is mental toughness? Mental toughness is the ability to keep all distractions aside and stick to a process, stick to the simple things that are going to make you a champion.